All right, soldiers, we're all here in the shade. Everybody got water?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, what we're going to do now is conduct an AAR on the training we just did. We got the OPFOR soldiers here with us too. And what's the purpose of this AAR? Why are we doing this? What's it all about?
We needed to know how to react to contact, Drill Sergeant.
Okay, that's the task that we just did, but the AAR itself, why are we doing this?
After action review to identify what we did right, what we did wrong, and to improve on anything we need to, Drill Sergeant.
Right. We want to find out exactly what we did well, why we did it well, what we didn't do so well, and how can we polish it so we can do it a little bit better when we go back out and kick off the next iteration. Everybody talks during the AAR. I want feedback from everybody, not just the student leadership. I don't want to just hear from team leaders and squad leaders. I want to hear from everybody to include the OPFOR. That's why we got them here, because they saw the training too. In fact, they might have seen some of the things that you guys may have missed, because if I was just to ask you guys how'd it go, you're probably going to tell me it went great, Drill Sergeant. And while it did go pretty well, there are some little things we need to work on, and from a different perspective, we get to see those things that you may not even have seen that you did yourselves. Next thing I want to talk about is the task condition and standards. The task, like we just talked about here a minute ago, was react to contact. The conditions, given a suitable area for training, that's that route that we just went up in the training area that's provided for us, and the standards was to hit each of the performance measures in accordance with the training we've been doing for the last couple of days. Is that what we did?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so far so good. Next, who can tell me about the mission and the commander's intent? What you got, team leader?
To travel along Route Bulldog from point A to point B around to clear any insurgencies between the hours 04, 08, and 00 on October 10. Sorry.
Essentially, that was the mission and the commander's intent. The mission was that we would clear along Route Bulldog from point A to point B, no later than date-time group, in order to clear the route of all insurgent forces, and the commander's intent was that there would be 0 insurgent forces so that the route was prepped for any use by coalition forces, the good guys, that's us. Is that pretty much what happened?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, so far we're still rocking and rolling. OPFOR, did the drill sergeant that placed you guys in, did they give you any specific instructions or intent?
Yes, sir. We were told to act as a distraction and to interfere with their mission, whatever the mission was. We were told to just distract them, to try to throw them off.
H&I, harass and interdict. And if a bonus, probably kill some coalition forces. Roger, okay, all right. So that's what they were about. We were about our mission, but the OPFOR, the bad guys, they had a mission too. As we started moving along, what's the first significant thing that happened?
We took fire, Drill Sergeant.
We took fire. Who was the first person to realize we were under fire? Was it you?
Both of us were, Drill Sergeant.
Okay, so what did you guys do when you realized you were under fire?
We took cover, we fired back, destroyed the enemy, and passed on the echo, Drill Sergeant.
Doing
Okay.
DDD, Drill Sergeant.
Okay, so the first thing you guys did, sought cover, returned fire, and gave a contact report using the 3D format. And you said echo, and that's an important thing because we talked about that beforehand. That doesn't always happen. So when you guys started to echo the contact report, did everybody else pick it up and start echoing also?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, let me ask somebody back here in Bravo team, since you guys were in the trail. Did all of you guys know what was happening? Did you guys hear the 3Ds?
Yes, Sergeant.
So everybody knew exactly what was going on. Okay, outstanding. Now, once we had done that, what happened next?
We made sure that everybody wasn't bunched up. Everybody was away from direct fire. Everybody was in a safe location to return fire, Drill Sergeant.
Okay, as one of the team leaders, you did that also. What you got, Kennedy?
Bravo made sure that there were no other attackers from any other directions other than 10 o'clock.
So we had security, 360-degree security. All right, and that's crucial. We've talked about that. The other drill sergeants have talked about that too. Oftentimes, as soon as shots get fired, everybody wants to rush to the sound of the guns and all that good stuff, and we forget about rear security. And that's an outstanding job that you soldiers did, making sure that we maintain 360-degree security. It might be boring for that soldier that's facing the other way. You want to get in a fight and help your buddies, but believe it or not, in some ways, you're the most important people if you're the ones pulling rear security. So outstanding job. Let me ask you guys another question. Once you guys took cover and started returning fire, for the most part, I saw everybody just kind of got down on the ground. A couple of you moved toward cover. Some of you didn't. Team leaders, did you guys have to do any positioning of your folks? Did you have to move anybody?
I just had to reposition a couple of soldiers. They were in the way of direct fire, so we had to move them out the way. They were all bunched up, so we had to scatter them around, Drill Sergeant.
Absolutely. It's not enough just to get down. You want to make sure that you get behind some cover. A lot of times there's a tree or a big giant rock or a boulder or something about a meter or two away. Use some IMT and get up behind that cover. Outstanding. Those soldiers in Bravo team, did you all have any contact with your team leaders? Did you see your team leader? Team leader, did you go and check on your soldiers?
When we were posting security from the rear, our team leader had to reposition us because, as you said, Drill Sergeant, everybody just clumped up in one place posting security, but our team leader noticed and she just put us in a good distance so we can cover the 300 security.
All right, that happens a lot too. I think we talked about that as well. Oftentimes we hear that safety in numbers. We want to be close to our buddies when the shooting starts. You have to maintain that dispersion. There's reasons for it. You want to make sure that one bad guy can't take all of us out. You don't know if some indirect fire might come in, something to that effect. So it's important to maintain that dispersion even when contact happens and we start to maneuver. Good deal. Anybody else?
Even through our attempts, we still managed to flag our comrades, and it just kept happening.
Okay. So it did happen a couple of times?
Mr. Sergeant.
Okay, so that's something we absolutely need to work on, because fratricide, we know that's the wrong answer. So that's one of those things we can tighten up on. It's an individual responsibility. In student leadership, we're going to be getting on you guys about that too, making sure that your soldiers aren't doing it to their battle buddies. Anybody else got anything to add? All in all, soldiers, I think the training went well, and I think this AAR did too. We've identified a couple of things that we did really well and we're going to polish. For example, communication between the squads. We've identified some things we need to tighten up. Dispersion and communication of the 3Ds. We make sure we're watching out for fratricide at all times. After I cut you guys loose on break, we're going to reassemble. We're going to go out, knock out another iteration. We're going to polish the things that we identified that we did well. We're going to tighten up those things that we didn't do so well. And we're going to have a great iteration. Cool? All right, soldiers, you guys are on break.